Free pickup's easy. Just order ahead in the Meyer app.
It is America's most private organization, with mysterious meetings held behind closed doors, and a membership that includes the most powerful men in America and the world. But behind this elite brotherhood are secrets. Secrets so outrageous.
Their agenda boils down to, we want to rule the world. Let's create a whole new world order.
So controversial.
When people are interested in occult connections, it's always funny how they overlook those that are right in front of our face.
So dangerous that the members will defend them with their lives.
If you're worshiping Lucifer, you better damn well keep that a secret.
There are those who believe in the existence of a book.
Alex Jones would know. He's one of them.
A book that contains the most highly guarded secrets of the United States of America. A book whose very existence is known to only a select few. But if such a book exists, what would it contain? Secret conspiracies? Secret plans? Secret lies? Does there really exist America's Book of Secrets?
Freemasons. Secret history.
Cannes, France, November 3rd, 2011. President Barack Obama and other world leaders arrived at the 6th meeting of the world's 20 major economies, known as the G20. At recent summits in London, Toronto, and France, thousands engage in violent protests. But why? What are they so afraid of? Officially, the members of the G20 meet to discuss, plan, and monitor international economic cooperation. But is there another, more secret reason? Among the protesters are those who believe the group's real intention is to form a single global economically based government, otherwise known as the New World Order. An order directly connected to something even more secret: Freemasonry.
The Masonic system is just one vein of that overall system, and their tentacles stretch into every town, every city of this planet.
For centuries, the Freemasons have been believed to be the architects behind the world's greatest international conspiracies. Members include industry titans, visionaries, world leaders, and presidents of the United States.
Freemasonry in the 20th century is sort of a who's who of industry, politics, government. Go into any industry, any branch of government, and you find prominent Freemasons. So Freemasonry is almost like a gallery of American development in the 20th century.
Today, there are an estimated 6 million Freemasons worldwide. And there are those who suggest the Freemasons are perhaps the most powerfully rooted in the United States of America.
14 of 44 U.S. presidents have been Freemasons, including 7 in the 20th century alone. They include William McKinley, Warren Harding, Howard Taft, Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, Harry Truman, and most recently, Gerald Ford.
But who are the Freemasons? And where did they come from?
The origins of Freemasonry are in many respects shrouded in mystery. It's probably the only organization in modern life for which that's really true.
Freemasonry is the world's largest, oldest, and best-known gentlemen's fraternity. Mythologically, it started during the building of King Solomon's Temple, and maybe even before that.
This is very important because this is where you see the roots, the real roots of modern Freemasonry.
The Egyptians were great builders, stone builders. And obviously their two greatest achievements in stone building were pyramids and obelisks. It is no coincidence that pyramids and obelisks are used as symbols in the rituals of Freemasonry. Freemason meaning free builder. Here we're not talking anymore only about building structures, physical structures. We're talking about building your own inner temple. So the building concept is very important, and that is why there is strong association with ancient Egypt.
Oh crap.
The clearest and plainest origin point for Masonry can be found within the Reformation. In the 1600s, a cluster of academics, merchants, intellectuals, politicians, clergy wanted to get together and discuss civics and religion and social issues and science in an atmosphere that was entirely outside the control or the monitoring of the church or the aristocracy. And to do this could be dangerous. People who stepped outside the accepted order of things, even late into the Enlightenment era, could be persecuted, imprisoned, and in some extreme cases could still be executed.
But while the origins of this secret society may forever remain a mystery, the influences of modern Freemasonry began to emerge in the American colonies in the mid-18th century.
Masonry traveled to America on British troop ships. You start to find the first publicly proclaimed Freemasonic lodges in the second decade of the 1700s. So by that point, it's an influential organization.
It is important to keep in mind the 18th century was really the age of enlightenment. Obviously, Freemasonry played a very important role in promoting and propagating ideals and principles of that age, and the founding fathers of the United States were disciples of that age. Freemasons are encouraged to study 7 liberal arts and sciences. 3 of them, grammar, rhetoric, and logic, are designed to help the Freemason develop a way of thinking that is based on reason, logic, and develop communication tools.
The foundation that Freemasonry is built upon is expressed in 2 symbolic tools: the square and compass.
The original universal symbol of Freemasonry is the square and compasses. The compasses is the main tool of the individual. You draw a circle using the compasses around you, and if you go beyond the perimeter, you lose control. Now, because it's a compass, the circle can be larger, and how do you enlarge? By seeking knowledge and light. The square is considered a symbol of wisdom, and G stands for the grand architect of the universe. The idea is to produce free-thinking people. This is the best way to fight any form of tyranny over the mind of man.
By the mid-1700s, Freemasons in the American colonies were regularly meeting in secret, assembling in woodland cabins, country barns, upper rooms above taverns, anywhere they felt their secrets were kept safe from the untrustworthy public.
If a man can't be trusted to keep something as minor as a handshake or a password as a secret, then his word really can't be taken as a man or as a gentleman.
As Ben Franklin said, if we don't hang together, we will most assuredly hang separately. So secrecy was important to bind these founding brothers, not just fathers, they were founding brothers, and secrecy bound them together.
But just what was it that was being discussed inside the Freemasons' meeting places? Were their lodges really functioning as incubators for diabolical plans? Boston, December 16th, 1773. Relations between the colonies and their British rulers have reached a breaking point. The Sons of Liberty, a group dedicated to protecting the rights of colonists against English oppression, convened at the Green Dragon Tavern and ignited the most infamous act of rebellion in history.
Ground zero for the revolution was in Boston at the Green Dragon Tavern, and in the 1760s it was actually bought by St. Andrew's Lodge. So the tavern was actually owned by the lodge.
Paul Revere happened to be the master of his lodge in Boston, which met in the Green Dragon Tavern. By simple coincidence, that's where the Sons of Liberty also met. Interesting.
The Boston Tea Party was planned at the Green Dragon Tavern with lots of men who were members of St. Andrew's Lodge. St. Andrew's Lodge was supposed to meet, and as a matter of fact, in their minutes, it actually says meeting called due to lack of quorum because they were out dumping tea into the ocean.
Could the taxation protest, known as the Boston Tea Party, have been a step towards a larger agenda? And were the colonial Freemasons really planting the seeds for what would eventually become known as the New World Order?
Masonry was a fundamental part of the American Revolution, and that is because some of America's most influential founders, including Benjamin Franklin and George Washington, were Freemasons.
Freemasonry was very important to George Washington. It was a network that he developed within his command, and he encouraged his generals to become Freemasons. He thought it made them more trustworthy.
33 out of Washington's 74 generals were Freemasons. That's 46%. That's not accidental. There were 9 out of 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence who were Freemasons, so they were well represented. 1/3 of the signers of the Constitution were Freemasons.
One of the greatest contributors to the United States Constitution was also, as many believe, America's first master Mason, Benjamin Franklin.
The first Masonic book published in the United States was published by Ben Franklin. It was a copy of James Anderson's Constitutions. He becomes master of a lodge very quickly after that. He becomes provincial Grand Master not much longer after that. And so he rises through the ranks very, very quickly and becomes very, very popular within Freemasonry.
For my money, the most powerful Masonic influence on America as a whole is Anderson's Constitutions. In 1717, the London Freemasons formed an official lodge, formed a Grand Lodge. They hired a man named James Anderson to write a set of constitutions by which the Freemasons would live. It is startling when you read Anderson's constitutions for the Freemasons, written in 1723. You see concept after concept after concept that appears in the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence.
There are those who believe that as long as the United States has existed, Freemasonic influence on the nation has been both pervasive and profound.
I'm one of them.
But are the Freemasons simply a gentleman's club, as some suggest?
No, they're not.
Are they a secret government leading America toward a new world order?
Somewhat. Basically, yes.
Perhaps the truth can be found by examining the group's many strange rituals, secret ceremonies that have been hidden from public scrutiny, and that its members seem willing to die for.
So you want to make the best burger ever? Then make it. That means